Love in Action, Transforming Lives and Community. This is our mission at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. And I want to invite you into loving action in this month of November as we continue our conscious action discussion through the practice of loving service, not just service, but loving service. So if you are in the Albuquerque area, I invite you to come get involved. Wednesday evenings in our interfaith food outreach. Join us on Sundays in community and spiritual practice. Come get inspired, but come build community. This too is loving action. And I invite you to do it with community so that you can have the greater experience of the divine as life itself.
So I was preparing for our series, which for those of you who are new to us, we do a new series every month. And part of the series always focuses on a spiritual practice. So the spiritual practice we are focusing on this month is the spiritual practice of service. A little different than charity, a little different than volunteering, but service rooted from love with the goal of kinship. And so we're going to be talking about that all month long. But today what I wanted to talk about is the metaphysics of service. Yes, because I know some of you come because you're seeking a metaphysic teaching. And I want to talk about the law of circulation. So think about the infinity loop, right? It is ever moving, ever flowing, moving in perfect right action and order. And one side of that loop maybe is service. The other side of that loop is faith and how they might feed one another. Because one of the things that I think we miss in service, because many of us are out here being good spiritual people, right? Good spiritual people, good humans doing the right human thing, is we miss the way that we are being changed by it. I think Marie spoke to that beautifully, right? That when she's out feeding folks on the street, she's being served. And I want to take it a step further because I want us to think about the metaphysics of when we are interested in raising our own frequency or vibration. We are interested in raising our consciousness. We are interested in knowing the divinity that we are and experiencing the divinity that we are. That work, whether we do that through meditation or prayer or study or fasting or whatever the practices that we are individually engaging in to know the truth of our holy nature, the truth of our divinity, the truth of the incarnation of the divine as my life, as your life, all of these practices are intended to raise our vibration, right? To raise the frequency that we are resonating at. And those of us who are interested in manifesting in our lives, we are actively working on ways to change ourselves, our thinking, our own energy field, in order to cultivate and co-create whatever changes we want to see in life. Yes? So think about when you are feeling hopeless or in despair. Anybody? Anybody feeling hopeless and despair in the state of the world? Right? Anybody like want to take their ball and go home? Right? One of the ways that that changes what we can co-create is because it brings our vibration down. When we let hopelessness and despair run the show, when we get stuck in fear, what begins to happen is we disconnect ourselves from life, right? We want to shut down, we want to numb out, we want to escape it. I guarantee everybody in this room has an escape habit, right? Mine might be sugar. I don't know what yours is. But we all have an escape habit. And I think we're actively involved in our escape habits right now. Makes sense. It's a valid response to the state of the world. It's a valid response to the kind of fear and chaos And I heard recently a teacher say, the psychic noise, right? The psychic threat that some of us are feeling, and we can't quite even name it. But instead of having that turn away, what if we decided that that was not the truth? What if we decided that these circumstances that have us in our feelings, like in our feelings, need to be addressed metaphysically, so that we can be the place of change, so that we can meet circumstances with the greatest power in the universe, love. Yeah. But if we're stuck in fear and we're stuck in wanting to isolate and disconnect and not be a part of, I mean, I'm literally hearing people talk about like I'm embarrassed to be a human, right? And I get that feeling. I get it. But we can't hang out there. We can't like spend the night in that. We have to find ways to let the truth bring our vibration back up so we can be a co-creator of change on a fundamental level. Fundamentally, we are looking for change and transformation. And I know that we're looking for it in our own lives and we're looking for it collectively. So service amplifies love. When we have service as part of that infinity loop, that flow of the divine, the energy that is always moving for good, and you put service rooted in love, aimed at kinship, what do you think it does to your energy field? What do you think it does to your vibration? Amen. Yes. It lifts you right out of despair. It lifts you right out of fear and false belief that humanity should be given up on. Right? I want to share a story. I was doing some street outreach years and years ago, and we were handing out hygiene products for women on the streets. And one of the women came like leaping up to the area we were handing stuff out. And she was like, guess what, you guys? And we were like, what? And she's like, I slept in the cab of a truck last night. I mean, delighted. Like she had won the lottery. And was so encouraged by the fact that she got to be sheltered on a mattress in the cab of a truck. And was so happy that she got to be cared for in that way. And I walked away from that experience going, I don't know nothing about gratitude. I know nothing about gratitude. Y'all, I was in ministerial school at that point. And she was my teacher. That's what becomes possible when we are in whatever service work we may find ourselves in with the aim of kinship and being willing to be changed by it. The willingness to be changed by it is critical if this is going to be a spiritual practice. I was listening to another minister talk about service work, and he measured what kind of service work he might be involved in by what his dinner table would look like 10 years from now. Yeah, I know. And the measure for him was, in 10 years, will there be people who speak a different language? People from a different class? People I have met outside of my regular circumstances at my dinner table? Not my little 1 hour a week at my volunteer gig. But who's volunteering with you that you bring home to dinner? Are you letting this kinship develop through acts of service? Are you letting yourself be served in it? Because when you do that, imagine the change that becomes possible in your own life. Right? That kind of service, rooted in that kind of love. As Valerie Kaur says, the opposite of hopelessness is not hope. It's service rooted in love. It is action rooted in love. And our mission statement here at the center is love in action. So we could do all kinds of charity work and volunteering and good stuff, and I'm for all of it. But I'm asking you to make it a spiritual practice, to allow yourself and your vibration and your frequency to be transformed by it. This is how we change the energetics underlying the material world that we so desperately want to see change. Yeah? Rev Angel Kyoto Williams said recently, she's one of my favorite teachers. If you're looking for sort of a Buddhist lens on justice and love, that's your person, Rev Angel Kyoto Williams. But she was saying to her students that right now we need to really be paying attention about what we're letting in, what we're consuming. Right? And I've talked about this in the past, particularly news and social media. And she was saying, take sips, not gulps. Take sips, not gulps. Because I think what happens, and I know we've had conversations about it, is like we get really strung out about what to do, right? Because we're gulping the news. We're gulping the tragedy. We are gulping the genocides, right? We are gulping the war. We are gulping the poverty. And she's saying, sip it so that you can stay anchored in truth and then meet what you can meet. Because when we are just like stuffing our faces with the horror and the tragedy, we lose our capacity to be the truth of who we are, to meet what is right in front of us. There is plenty of need right here in your neighborhood. I love you, but Gaza doesn't need you. Albuquerque does. Albuquerque needs you. Your neighborhood needs you. Your household needs you. Your community. I like to say love as far as your arms can reach. This is where your spiritual growth lives. This is where your opportunity for transformation exists. Is when you decide that your acts of service, that your capacity to be present, rooted in the love that you are, as you move through your day, allows you to meet the need that you come into contact with, right where you are. And because you do, you are participating in the infinite goodness of the divine. You are consciously participating and changing your own energetic field and the field around you. You are seeding the vibration of love every time you choose to be present to whatever need is in front of you. So if you are looking for transformation of your own fear, of your own despair, of your own hopelessness, you are looking for transformation of your confusion and doubt, serve. Show up in service, rooted in love, and step back into the divine's flow.